First story. Eventually found out my wife cheated and runaways. Is this normal? I was recently abandoned by my wife of 2 years, and although I attempted to work things out as we were separated, she blamed every single thing on the relationship on me, playing victim and even things that didn't make sense. Fast forward, I cut her off, but randomly unblocked her 2 days later. She called me late at night. I didn't answer. Then she blocked me again right after. I did not respond or pick up the phone call. Is this a normal behavior of a narcissist? Why would she call me, then block me immediately after? This whole thing has really been hard for me mentally. Constant regrets, and was I really that bad of a person? Update. My wife recently abandoned me while I was at work. Now she's unblocking me. Is this normal? I was recently abandoned by my wife of 2 years about 3 months ago. I tried to work things out with her for over 2 months via phone, but she blamed the entire thing on me. Emotional abuse. All arguments were caused by me. I didn't buy her a car for the right reasons, etc. Bogus things and some things that were true, but everything was blamed on me. I also found out that she had been secretly talking to her ex since we got married that lives 12 hours away. I finally cut contact with her about a month ago, and she called me out of the blue last week. I did not answer. I noticed that she just started unblocking me on social media as well. I am beyond confused and obviously traumatized by the abandonment. Is this normal, and should I expect anything more to happen? Update. Help me understand. I was married to a person I dearly loved and cared for since 2022. We met online and got married 1.5 years later. When we got married, we had to go through the immigration process for her, but she was here living with my parents and I for the first year. Then we purchased a nice home and my parents helped us tremendously with remodeling it, way more than they ever should have. I am fortunate to have them. My mom took her in as her own daughter. They became practically best friends. Throughout the marriage, I always had a hard time with her just saying thank you, or appreciating anything I was doing for her. Actually, a lot of our disagreements that stemmed from me was just respecting, appreciating, being thankful and learning manners. Through the immigration process, of course we had arguments when we both would say things we didn't mean. But it was once every 3-5 months. We always made up quickly after, but regardless, we should have never said certain things. Especially me. I learned. Throughout the marriage, I literally went depressed because of her immigration process. I was doing everything, paperwork, therapy, etc. I lost track of my work and became consumed with her process because it became tangled due to the first attorney we had. I even purchased a brand new car for her because we were told her paperwork should be approved soon, but it became denied. So we have to take a different route, and it drained me, paperwork-wise. At the same time, I was the sole provider of the household. Since she couldn't work or drive, I told her to pursue her master's degree since the only thing she could do was wait, so she did. I paid off her master's, I paid for a brand new car, I took care of the bills, put a roof over our head, etc. While being mentally stressed and actually telling her that, instead, she would argue about the smallest things with me. She would compare how so-and-so has this purse, or they go here and we don't when we're 31 and 30 years old, and being compared for people in their 50s. I kept telling her, we have a nice home. We've traveled to 6-7 major cities in 2 years and doing amazing for the position we're in. Even though in reality, she didn't do anything but study, do laundry and dust. Yet she still made me vacuum and do certain chores 50-50 with her. My mom's friends took her in as their own, always inviting her to go places and so on. My friends and their spouses supported her and would go out of their way to help her in any way they could. But she never appreciated it. One day I come home and she had left me. Left with a stranger she had never met in her life, other than talking on Instagram, and drove to another state. She left me a note saying how disrespectful I was and how she had been recording me for 1+ years, and will show it to everyone that knows me if I give her a hard time and don't sign the divorce papers. She's completely illegal, by the way. I was heartbroken and still am and always will be. She called me emotionally abusive and now says she has PTSD. I don't know where all of this is coming from, even accusing me of things I never said. She didn't tell Sol that she was leaving, not the 20+ people she knew and where we lived, none of my family, just her friend in another state, her parents abroad and the friend she never met in person on Instagram. I tried to make it work after, but it was like talking to a person I never met. She said she hated my parents, she was best friends with my mom. She said I didn't buy her a new car because I drove it, because she couldn't get a license currently. She said I forced her to take her master's. She was dedicated, and that I am materialistic. I didn't buy a thing for myself in 2 years because of the financial stress I had for our life, and it was just pure hate. She has made me to believe that I did everything wrong. I come to find out that she had been talking to her ex in another state since we got married, secretly. She had also been going around my back for over 1 year telling my friends and employees that I had no work ethic, I'm a man with different faces, etc. She also shared a recording of me yelling in an argument with a couple we hardly knew last year. The couple told me after and said she was sketchy, showing us a recording when we hardly knew her. Her dad even called me cheap when he first came to visit us. Even though I paid for everything when he was visiting, he not once offered to pay for even a meal. I put her first in my life, my parents did too. I only spoke highly of her while she betrayed me. She abandoned me out of nowhere when I was at work, and literally at the lowest point of my life, because of her immigration paperwork, and she knew this. She left me as soon as she finished her master's. After she left me, 2 months later, she said she had done the same thing to another man she dated before, because he was physically abusive to her. I don't know if I believe that either anymore now. I feel like I lived a lie for the last few years. I cut contact with her after going through the traumatic, whiplash experience of full-blown abandonment and trying to get her back. She randomly called me last week after being no contact with her for about a month. I did not pick up. My question is, why? How could someone do this? Why would she do this to me? She always told me how much she loves me, but never appreciated anything I did for her and was never grateful. I don't get it. Did she manipulate me? Update. Is it normal for a narcissist to just leave? My wife abandoned me out of nowhere one day while I was at work. Ended up blaming me for everything afterwards. Is this a normal discard or an extreme? Update. My ex who abandoned me, and then I found out she was emotionally cheating on me, lost a lot of weight. My ex-wife abandoned me out of nowhere one day, and then I found out that she had been emotionally cheating on me since we first got married with her ex out of state, for about 2 years. I just saw a video of her and realized that she has lost a lot of weight. She's beginning to look anorexic and she's tried to reach out to me twice, but I have went full no contact, after attempting to get her back for 2 months after she left me. What could be causing her to lose so much weight when she was the one that left me and cheated on me? Is it the stress? Is it normal? I feel so bad, but I tried for 2 months straight to get her back while she was just cruel to me. Update. My wife 31 left me and I'm devastated and confused. Some insight please? My wife abandoned me out of the blue one day. She was texting me like normal, but wasn't answering my calls that day when I was at work. She even asked how my dad was an hour before I got home. When I came home, she had left with all of her belongings with a threatening letter. She had been recording me apparently and sharing our arguments, yelling really, with close friends of mine. Period. Till this day, I am traumatized. I can't believe she left me the way she did and blamed everything on me, when in reality, we always made up, argued every 3 months and had great friends, etc. Of course, then I find out after that she had been talking to her ex since almost the day we got married, 2 years. I was going through some texts from 2020, before we got married, and realized she told me she fears that one day I will leave her. But she left me out of nowhere, and told me to not to do stupid things behind my back. Even though she was secretly talking to her ex and was trying to ruin my reputation amongst my friends and family and strangers. I have gone no contact after 2 months after she left me because I tried everything to get her back, but she was resentful, gaslighting me and manipulating me like crazy. I devoted my entire life to her and she did this. She randomly texts me and I do not respond. A few days ago, on her birthday, she unblocked me, but I never sent her a happy birthday text. She messaged me and said how hurt she was for me not texting her happy birthday, how she was crying, and how she loves me and I was always yours. Then said that we both have to live with the consequences of my actions for the rest of our lives. How could this have happened? What has happened? It is truly traumatizing. Update. How long did it take you to recover? My wife of 2 years abandoned me one day while I was at work. For 2 months after, I was being led on, gaslighted and manipulated as I tried everything to get her back until I want no contact. She's reached out multiple times to ask for money. Tell me if I'm a man of my word or the person she thinks I am. Expected me to text her on her birthday and made me know it by texting me the next day when I didn't, and blamed everything on me. We had a little rough patch in our relationship, mainly because of extreme stress and immigration, but always worked things out and were happy outside of a few arguments. But I can't seem to get over it. I feel guilty. I regret things I didn't do and things I said. While she seems to post on Instagram that she's happy and all, with friends, showing the big city, etc. I never responded to her texts for the last 3 months and the divorce is tomorrow, but I can't mentally break out of it. It's been eating me alive, and I know my wrongdoings should have never led to a divorce, let alone abandonment. Even though she was secretly trying to ruin my reputation the entire marriage and was secretly talking to her ex since the day we got married. She broke me the day she left. Then I found out she had done the same thing to at least one guy before me, got up and left while they were at work with no warning. I'm blaming myself for everything mentally. When does it get better? Update. Officially divorced. Just got divorced today officially. My wife left me with no warning while I was at work one day. It was brutal. Is it normal to feel numb? I feel like I got played the last 2 years, gaslighted and manipulated. What a shame. Second story. I suspicious my wife cheated. My wife told me somewhat out of the blue that she wanted a divorce back in April. We were in couples counseling, at her suggestion and my scheduling. I've since come to learn that a co-worker of hers is also seeking a divorce. In fact, both she and this co-worker are being represented by the same lawyer, and he filed against his wife a couple weeks after my wife filed against me. My wife has since confessed that she and this person have grown closer through this process. Further, she had not revealed to me that this person was any kind of marital problems until she told me they were also getting divorced based on some behavioral changes. I'm under the impression that she and this person had already started some kind of relationship prior to filing. What do you think? Should I believe her that they just grew closer as a result of their each going through this process, or is she having an affair? Update. STBX and her co-worker both filed for divorce in June and have the same lawyer. She claims that they only just got closer BC they're each going through a divorce. Since my last post, I've decided that it's best to move on. STBX has lied about too many verifiable details for me to believe her story. Started focusing my energy on my own healing and fostering the best relationship with my kids that I can. Blocked STBX on social media, but not before sending her a message putting the blame that the marriage is ending solely on her. Started reading Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. Notified their HR dept anonymously. notified their boss anonymously. I can't say that I'm overjoyed at these developments, but I do feel better having greater clarity. I also feel validated in that my account is being taken seriously by their employer. I've also notified OBS. She was the first person I told. I've not heard anything from her. Third story. My 31M fiance, 30F, kissed a guy at a party. What should I do? Hi all. Looking for some advice on this situation with my partner. My fiance recently sat me down for a chat and confessed that when she was very drunk at a party, a guy kissed her and she kissed him back, then said I have a boyfriend and left. She kept the secret for 6 months. My fiancé and I have been together for 5 years. We have a house together, got engaged last month and have been discussing kids. We have gone through some tough times with medical issues and a hard miscarriage but have been solid together. She has always had a very strong stance on cheating since she was cheated on in a previous relationship, and we worked through some jealousy issues together. The other night she came to me and said we need to talk. She was in tears and very upset 6 months ago. She went to visit home and go to a friend's wedding drinks. I was unable to go due to work. While away we texted and video called every day and were very loved up in the messages. That morning she had texted me she was waking up happy and in love and lucky to have me. She told me that at the party she was extremely drunk and had been chatting with a guy. Nothing flirty. Not unusual as she is very social. And he had kissed her. She said she kissed him back for maybe 60 seconds, seems long, and then said she has a boyfriend, left the party and threw up. She told me she was extremely drunk and hormonal emotional following the miscarriage. She was unsure whether to tell me but consulted Google and everywhere said that it would just hurt my feelings to spare her guilt and it was selfish to tell me. She has been very depressed recently, which has affected our relationship, and the guilt has been eating her up, so she decided to tell me. She has been extremely apologetic, in tears and very remorseful as she doesn't want to ruin this relationship. What should I do in this situation? One hand I feel stupid immature being this upset over a kiss mistake, but on the other, I feel betrayed with all trust broken. Especially from someone with such a strong stance on cheating that has made it clear even flirty behavior is too far. I'm also very upset that she kept this from me for 6 months, and it has also made me doubt my trust in her more. She insists this was a nice thing she kept it hidden so she wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I completely disagree and would have rather dealt with this at the time, instead of being unaware and proposing. Any thoughts on this? Where do I go from here? She is extremely apologetic and blames how drunk she was and promises to not drink like that again. I don't think that's a valid excuse as I've also been wasted before and still would not cross boundaries, but maybe I'm wrong. She insists it was just the kiss and then she left saying she has a boyfriend. I believe her as she seemed sincere, but how can I actually trust that it wasn't more? Fourth story. How do I let her go? My wife, F26, and I, M26, have been together for 10 years this year, married 3, with 1 2-year-old son. I let her do anything she wants and never have I ever not trusted her until this past year. Last July she cheated on me and said she just kissed a worker on a cruise she went on with her mom and sister. She said she liked the attention. I do anything I can for this woman. She gets plenty of attention. Long story short, I go about another month and find she is still messaging him. Then find out she was messaging him again in January this year, and now again 2 weeks ago because she thought we were split up. I never said we split up. She left the house and my 2-year-old with me crying because she couldn't take it. I can't argue in front of our kids, so yeah, things are hard to talk about. I can't trust her. I still love her and I can't get myself to let her go. I need to know the best way to do it for our son. I still love her and could never be mean to her. I can't stand the thought of her with someone else, but I can't stand being hurt anymore. Update. I'm finally leaving my wife after her cheating on me 3 times. M26, F26. She cheated on me last year on a cruise and said they only kissed. Don't believe her. Then I caught her talking to him again 3 months later. Then last month I caught her sending pictures of herself, while she was at work, to him. I told her I was done, and basically after a lot of arguing she said she would move out, all while making me feel like the bad guy, that I don't want this family, etc. We have a 2-year, by the way. I know he is mine. I just need advice or help on getting her out. I went to a club last night to try to get her off of my mind, not looking for anyone. I went by myself just to not be home looking at pictures on the walls of us, etc. She found out and thinks I was with hoes and getting danced on, which I did, but I didn't show much attention because I've been with her so long it just felt wrong, even though it's not. I don't know what to do. I haven't ate in over a week. It's destroyed me. Please, any advice helps.